welcome to Triple T Thursday. That stands for Tips, Tricks, and Talktorials. I am your host coming at you with another episode, if you want to call it that, if we're still calling this podcast. Maybe we'll put it back on the podcast. We got to figure out how the podcast channel / playlist stuff works on YouTube. But yeah, hello, happy Thursday. How are you? Oh, we even have Marcus already in the chat. Great to see you. And for anyone who didn't know, I did a video over on Marcus's channel today. And I don't know, Marcus, if you want to throw in that link to that video. I also made a community post about it. You guys can go take a peek, or if Marcus can't, I know Dutch can jam, I think you can drop a link in. I did put it in the community post, but I did do an interview over there on Marcus's channel today, so if you would be so kind at some point during the live, if you have a chance to drop that link in, that would be appreciated. We have some stuff to chat about, and actually Marcus was partially responsible for when I was racking my brain today on what should we talk about. I was thinking about collaboration, and it's been a little while since we talked about actually how to get someone to collaborate with you, get them to say yes to you, how to like do that without coming across as kind of like creepy or weird, anything like that, and actually increase the likelihood of someone being able to say yes to, oh, my buy me a cup. That's not the right one. Hold on, let me turn that off. That is for when I do my live stream singing stuff. And please tell me if you hear a buzzing in your ears, because I've been hearing it the whole day and it's really been bothering me and I don't know what is causing it. Oh, it's gone now until I move. We'll see how that goes. But all right. I know a while back we had done a presentation. In fact, I wonder if it's still hanging out in my stuff for collaborations. There was an actually how to collaborate with other people. I should look at that. Collaboration. Can I just go to open documents? Can I search for it? Collaboration. What comes up? No, on this Mac, not just this desktop. Step 1. Yes, ask. It's true. It is true. A lot of people don't do that. Oh, look at that. I do have it. I don't know how old this slide deck is, but let's see. How do I see all of my, let's see what I said. Look at me. I'm so smart. Are there actually things? Are there actually slides? Yes, there are. Oh, all right then. Well, we'll just go with some of this. Sweet. Okay, how do I see the light table? Yes, here we go. All right. So when it comes to collaborations, I said here are some of the do's and don'ts when it comes to collaborations. Y'all are welcome to jump into the chat and let me know which one of these you don't agree with, But if you don't agree, well, it's my live stream and you'll have to find your own to rebut. Okay, we'll just leave it at that. So let's chat. One of the first things is going to be people like to collab with people they know or they like. Okay, so if you have no relationship with the person that you're asking to collaborate, it's not always a high likelihood that they're going to say yes, because if you think about it, a lot of people have a lot of people asking them for things all the time. And it's kind of, speaking of rude, where are my manners? Y'all, what's in your cup today? I am so sorry that I did not ask. What's in your cup? Okay, let's chat about that. Mine is, you can see the little T tag on it. It's the Awake English breakfast. I think it's too hot. Yeah, it's a little hot. It's okay. Okay, tell me what's in your cup though. So again, people like to collaborate with people they know, like, or trust. And if you have no relationship with the person that you are trying to collaborate with, you're probably not going to get a high likelihood of them saying yes. If you've never interacted on one of their live streams, if you've never left a comment on their video, if you've never reposted something of theirs on some form of social media, you probably aren't known to them. And so it may not be the highest of likelihoods that they would say yes. Now, if you're a celebrity and they don't know you and they made a video about you and then they're like, collab with me because you're talking about me, let's get it from the source. Maybe. Okay, but that's few and far between. So I am going to say that people will collab with someone they can get something from, even if they don't like them. You can see this a lot when it comes to, very early beauty YouTube or lifestyle ones where, they weren't actually friends, but then they came on camera pretending like they were friends. Why? Because they wanted access to the audience that the other person's channel gave them, right? So that was a big deal for a lot of people because collaborations used to be a huge way that people would grow their user base and their channels, was by tapping into like-minded types of markets of people who would like the similar content. Now, it didn't always behoove you to do a collaboration with someone who was really outside of your niche unless you were going to weave a really great story somehow to make it plausible and interesting, and even then not a huge cross-section sometimes was going to be interested. But you did have the chance every once in a while, if you had a like-minded audience and you're like, okay, we both talk about model trains. I don't like this guy very much, but you know what? We both talk about model trains. We're both building the same one, and maybe that would be a collaboration because we both want to reach audiences that like model trains. That would be maybe. But again, if you have no relationship with them, maybe the collab video isn't going to go as well as you want it to because you guys don't actually have, the funny inside jokes and the stories to go off of. But nevertheless, like I said, people will collaborate with people even if they don't know them, if they can get something out of them a lot of the time. Okay. Passion fruit juice with a splash of tonic water. That sounds delicious. That's awesome. And Marcus, I wasn't kidding earlier when I was on your live stream and I was like, you get more live stream viewers than I do. It says we have five, because I'm watching from my phone over here just to make sure that the comments come through. So yeah, you had double the amount of viewers that I did. So just keep that in mind. Don't let anyone ever try and tell you that was bad. It was great. All right. So the next thing here is we have what kind of collabs are there, right? And how do you actually work out collabs? So some of the things that you might want to talk about when you're doing collaborations is going to be something like a top 10 list. My top 10, makeup items for women over the age of 40. I don't know. I'm making stuff up, y'all. And so it would behoove you to do 5 of them, and then the other person would do 5, and together combined you have a list that is top 10. Or my favorite eyeshadow palettes, my not so favorite, or my favorite and my favorite, or same questions for both of you type of thing. That's also a type of collab. And then usually the way that might work is these are a lot less involved because you're going to film your video as normal. And like maybe in the beginning, you're going to do a 30-second spiel, right? You're going to be like, hey, this is a collaboration with my friend Marcus, and he's, in Switzerland. And so he does videos about the creator economy and has awesome interviews and conversations with other creators and how they make money. So if that's something that's interesting to you and you like my videos, then you're going to like his videos too. So make sure you go over and subscribe to him, right? And then you would just get on with your video and do what you normally would do. And maybe at the very end, you'd wrap it again. Hey, thanks everyone for coming in. And again, if you didn't catch the other part of the video, it's over on Marcus's channel. I'm going to put a link in the description. Go check that out and say, that you're from Shelly's channel and she says hi. That's pretty much all that is needed in a collaboration for something like, what is that? Jay Joan just subscribed. Hey, Jay Joan, thank you for subscribing. Hey girl, let me get access to your audience. Yeah, sometimes people try to use you. Absolutely. And that's why I said people will collab with people even if they don't like them, if they can get something from them. And what they want is, right, access to your audience. Trenton, I see you. So it's keep that in mind because sometimes, it's not show friends, it's show business. So now, other types of collab videos are going to be like tag videos. There's a whole bunch of questions, like 10 questions for every content creator. And this was really big in the beauty sphere. And it would be like the same 10 questions that everyone would do. And they would tag other creators, like tag you're it, now you do the video. And the tag would be a collaboration. Or sometimes they would just be like, I tag anyone who hasn't been tagged yet. That's a collaboration video. And then you could sometimes be in a group playlist together, or you could, list other people's videos in your description box. That way the algorithm, or maybe if someone started clicking on them, people would start to think that these videos are related. So you might get some traffic that way crosswise. Okay. And as this says, there are also people who actually want to collab with good intention. Absolutely. Yes, there are. Buddy, I'm only 2 slides in out of 30, okay? We're talking about all the good ways and bad ways to collab, okay? You just wait. You just hold your pretty little horses. They're coming. Okay. And then you have interviews, such as I was on Marcus's channel today. We did an interview. That's technically a collab. Sometimes you could do collabs where you're streaming on both people's channels. I know Restream has that option. They call it pairs. So, or with other people, if you had like a custom RTMP that you wanted to like go into, you could broadcast it in multiple places. So right now I happen to be using Ecamm, right? So I am going on multiple platforms, but some places will also allow you to do multiple YouTube channels as well. So you could totally do that. And that could be another form of collaboration, is just broadcasting your video or your interview on both channels. And it's kind of like a collab because you're both doing the interview, but you're still both tapping into the audience, not only that you currently already have, but maybe the one that you want as well. So something to keep in mind. So those are some various types of collabs. And then we still have other things like compilation videos. So maybe you're doing, I know Daniel Batal had done this one year. It's like Christmas advice. It was like a Christmas year end type of thing, like thank yous from all these different YouTube educators. Or it was like, give me your worst take on YouTube growing a channel, or, something like that. Like, hot takes on how to grow a YouTube channel, and everyone would submit one tip. And we've done a lot of those types of videos where it's compilations. In fact, I think Mr. Camera Junkie, we would say it's a collaboration video. He was behind the scenes and he was grabbing people's, not like that. Stop that. Okay. He was asking people for videos. That just sounds bad too. Stop. There was an email sent out because we were going to be celebrating someone hitting 100,000 on their YouTube channel. And he was very sweet. And he was like, we should all have a little snippet where we say something nice. And then we put it into a video and he releases it. And then actually it was even like a collab inside of a collab, because we all made the video, but then they played the video on the live stream when the gentleman had hit 100,000, right? So that was very Inception. But that was a super fun video to be a part of, because we just had to, and sometimes it's not very much work. So you can just be like, we're going to get to this, but when it's easy to say yes to someone's collab request, you have a higher likelihood of them saying yes. I'll explain what I mean later. But in Luis's case, he was just like, just send me this video, put it in, Dropbox, or put it in like Google Drive, just this little 45-second clip, and you'll be included in this video. And I was like, all right, I got 45 seconds. I can do this. So I got to be in a collab. And technically you could say I already collabed with like tons of people. So that is one of those kind of fun ways to collab as well. Is one, it's not even you doing the work, but your input is very minimal. So it's easy to say yes to that. Okay. Trenton, am I going to have to block you? I'm so kidding. Okay. So we also have like a sequential progression, which is really going to be also some of like that top 10 or like a continual list of things. And so maybe you're going from one to the other type of thing. And so maybe you have a few people in the series and you're like, hey, for this, right? And it goes into the next video and it goes into the next person's channel, something like that. So you see a lot of this in like the vlog squad. Maybe it was like everyone getting ready for the Taylor Swift era tours, and then someone else says the vlog of everyone, blah, blah, blah. And then, someone has the aftermath of what happened after, something like that. That could be like also a sequential story too. So to watch all of the shenanigans that happen with this group, you had to go from channel to channel to channel and jump around, jump up and get down. Sorry. And so that was kind of a fun way to do that as well. And then there's also stuff like takeovers, and takeovers aren't necessarily collaborative in nature, except you still get some of the benefits. So it would be something like Ecamm has Luis come in and do a whole bunch of Instagram stories, or maybe do some educational videos, and it's still Ecamm's channel, but Luis is doing like some specific topic. And then, maybe during it, they say, hey, come check out my channel, my regular YouTube channel, if you want to learn more about this type of stuff. So it's you guest hosting or guest spotting on someone else's. This is really big when it comes to like Instagram takeovers and stuff like that. You can put in like a temporary code or something like that, and then change the password later so that someone could temporarily come in and kind of take over to do stories or posts or something like that. So you'll see That happened a lot in that sphere. So technically that's kind of like a collab as well. So if you have other collab ideas in mind, go ahead and drop them down in the chat. But then we're going to move on into some of the do not do this. Don't do this. Don't do it. Okay. Number 1, spam comment massively. Let's collab. Number 2, cold email with just let's collab. Number 3, DM randomly. Let's collab. Are we going someplace with this? We sure are. Here's the, and I actually in my little presentation, I show a specific screenshot where someone just says, let's collab. And what's funny is it comes through on Instagram, which is, just so you know, it's my least favorite platform. I say that all the time. No one seems to believe me. It is. I don't like it. Even though I should like it, I just don't. You know when sometimes you're just a petulant little child about something and you're just like, there is nothing physically, well, there is tons of things wrong with it, but like there is no specific reason on paper why I should hate it as much as I do. I just do. Just like I'm annoyed by your face every time anyways, even though it has everything that you think that you would need, right? It's like when you are dating someone and you were like, they have lots of things on my checklist that I'm looking for, let's say in a partner or a platform. The ability to DM, the ability to like put integrated shopping, you know, all kinds of different types of varieties so I don't get bored, but I hate it. And I don't see myself with it long term. Precisely. So moving on. What's funny about this Instagram DM was it says like, you do not follow each other. It's not one of those that's like follow back. It's like, they don't even follow me yet they're reaching out to me for something. And there's nothing worse than a cold let's collab, because let's just say you get someone to say yes. What did you have in mind is usually going to be the next. If you get a response, if it's not no, if it's not, nope, not interested. If it's okay, what now? If you don't have a plan, like, and that's usually the case, they just throw it out there. Let's collab. It's just your face, right? It's just, it's just your face. You know, and again, like I said, if you have no relationship with them, you don't follow them, you haven't retweeted anything of theirs, you haven't commented on any of their videos, anything like that, you've never duetted them, you've never done a stitch with them, you've never used their audio, they don't know you from the person on the street that they don't also know. Okay, that's the worst. But I'm saying if you have no relationship, they have no reason to necessarily say yes. Okay. Now, I am going to say there are a lot of stupid idiot people out there that are just beginners and they're so eager. Okay. So don't become a heartless asshole like I am later on in life and just be a complete poop turd to them and like just rip into them a new one, which I have done. I would be like, what did you expect me to say? You have contributed nothing. You have given no ideas. And I know it takes a certain amount of balls and courage to even send the message, although sometimes it doesn't. And some people just spam it away. So I'm going to give some credit, you know, at least you're trying and you're reaching out, but it is scary. I understand, but yeah. Shelly, you should dial it back. You don't have to be an asshole to everyone. Okay, I'll take my own advice. The point is, if someone does reach out to you, you could try and take the approach of, what did you have in mind? Or that's not the best way to ask someone to collab. Or, you know, what were you going to do if I said yes? And you don't have to be a jerk to them like I am most of the time if I don't ignore them. You could try and be nicer than me. That's a good motto. Try and be nicer in life than Shelly is. I think that will take you far. Okay, there's that. But I will say, don't completely shit all over people when they do reach out and try and collab later, because right now you may be the smaller sized channel or whatever else it is and reaching out to someone bigger. And we're going to talk about why maybe it's not always the best idea. But one day you will be the bigger fish in a smaller pond or whatever that saying is. And don't eat the minnow that's asking for some help, okay? Don't treat them like chum is what I'm saying. So do nots. Maybe don't chase these large creators that have, you know, tons, hundreds of people asking them all the time to collab with them with no clear reason, okay? Maybe collab with people sometimes that are around your size or a little larger. Or gosh, think about what would happen when you reach out to someone who's smaller than you are in size and you're like, hey, I'd like to collab with you because I think what you're doing is really, really cool. Would that not make you feel awesome if someone maybe that you're following or you like or whatever and is bigger than you reaches down to you? You know what I mean? Reaches out to you and says, hey, maybe we should collab. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. Dear YouTuber. Yeah, dear influencer. Yeah, I know. Oh, and I love like the form letters that have like a different font for when they do insert your name. Oh, I've also gotten insert name of influencer here. I've also gotten hello day, because in some places it's like Shelly Saves the, and then I put day as my last name or something like that because like it won't display correctly. So it'll say like, hello day, I love your channel, Shelly Saves the, and it's just like anyways, I digress. So maybe don't collab with people where it makes zero sense why you would collab with them. It would make sense if I'm a fishing channel to collab with a fishing channel, or maybe some sort of other hunting, or maybe even a cooking channel because you're going to cook the fish. That's a collab right there. It's that sequential process. Like first we're going to go out and catch the fish. Then this channel is going to teach me how to cook the fish, something like that. But there are lots of things that just make zero sense. Okay. Just zero. And unless you weave a really great story, it's going to be harder because you might get a couple people that were interested in that cross section. Not always the case though. Not always the case. So, and maybe don't take it personally if they say no, or if you get no response at all. And sometimes a no just means not right now. And that could be, they're busy with tons of other things going on in their life. And sometimes a no isn't I hate you or I'm rejecting this idea of ever doing it. It literally might mean right now. Maybe I'm in the middle of creating my next, course or a book or something, and I am just like bogged down with this, but it's not something I am opposed to. It's just, I can't put that on my plate right now. Okay. So, and don't expect, even if you're friends with someone who has a larger channel, that they're going to collab with you because they're your friend. Friendship and YouTube, you wish that they would always go hand in hand, but it's not always the case. So you may have a friend, you may have, let's say, a channel that has 40,000 subscribers and they have 400,000 subscribers. So you think, oh, they're my friend, we should collab. Maybe even if you're in kind of a similar niche or something like that, it doesn't automatically mean that you're going to get a collab, even if it's with a friend. And you shouldn't hold that against them because maybe there's something going on with their audience where they know that you might come in and just get like skewered, or maybe their audience isn't going to like it. Or it doesn't mean that you guys aren't friends. It doesn't mean you can't talk YouTube shop behind, closed doors. It doesn't mean that they're not there wishing success for you. There could be a multitude of reasons, from non-compete, disclosure stuff to they already have their content calendar full. So you can't take that personally, and you can't expect that they are going to owe you a collab just because they happen to be friends with you in real life. Okay. It's really important because some people's feelings will get hurt about that and be like, why isn't this person helping me? They're not beholden to you to do that. You are not beholden to them to do that. And sometimes it does or doesn't make sense. I'm just going to put that out there. Next, do not assume that your channel is going to be flooded with an entirely new audience and you're going to get a huge influx of new subscribers. Sometimes when you are in similar niches, and maybe you've talked about each other's videos before, this happens a lot also in the beauty community. Maybe you've referenced each other's videos. Maybe you've linked them in descriptions. A lot of the time people like similar, right? And so if you're already friends, you're already similar, you're already covering similar topics, you may already have a cross section of people that are watching both. So it doesn't mean that both channels with 30,000 subscribers are going to get 30,000 from the other channel. It's not everyone that's going to come over. It's going to be a smaller percentage. And even so, from that percentage, there may be people from that group that have already subscribed to you or don't want to subscribe to you. So it's not going to be a 1-for-1. Like, oh, here's 30,000 subscribers because my friend has 30,000 subscribers. That's not how it works. Okay. Yeah. Let's cook some fish, man. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'll have you guys know, I just thumbs up this video right over here on my phone, and it says it's the 3rd thumbs up. Hashtag rude. Hashtag hurt feelings. Whatever. Okay, so here's some do's. Here's what you should do instead of what you shouldn't do. 1, have a clear plan and schedule. Like I said, there's nothing worse than that cold let's collab without any kind of details, right? Decide what kind of collab do you want? Are you doing this with friends or specific people? How many people? Like if you're breaking things up, how is that going to go? So if you have a clear plan and a schedule, it's a lot easier for me to come to Trenton and say, hey, Trenton, WWDC, is coming up on June 3rd. Do you want to do a reaction stream where we go on and live stream during WWDC and we broadcast on both channels and we give our live reactions to what's being announced? Is a more clear and concise thing, even if he says yes or no, versus you want to collab? What are you thinking? I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. Because when it gets into that, like, what do you want to do phase? Have you ever tried to ask people where they want to go eat? You guys know I have the McDonald's theory, but that's not the point. It is tough. And so the tougher you make things, the more you make people think, the more of a hassle it becomes. So the more they're just like, nah, maybe let's just shelf that for later, right? But if you have a very clear, concise plan, right? Hey, the new Pixel is dropping and I think it would be really, really cool. What if you do an unboxing of it and you send me some video of this and then I do some camera tests with the other phone and then we, because you don't have that phone and I send you some photos and videos and then we do a comparison between the old and the new and say, is it worth upgrading? I don't know, blah, 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 right? At least you have an idea clearly of what you'd like to talk about. And then someone can also then come like, oh, you know what? What if we did this? And they can build on it. It's that McDonald's. Okay, we'll go through the McDonald's theory. Remember when you have a group of people and then you want to ask them, where do you want to eat? In the bickering that goes on for an hour. I don't know. What do you think? Oh, what about this? What about that? Just have someone say, let's go to McDonald's for lunch. Inevitably, no one really wants to go to McDonald's for lunch. They're going to be like, okay, I was thinking Wendy's instead. And you're like, you know what? Fine. I don't know why, but starting, it's just like staring at a blank page is so much more intimidating than it is when you have stuff that you're filling up in a skeleton outline and you're just like, let me just plug in the details, right? This is the topic, and then all I have to fill in is date. This is the person that I'm doing this live stream or, record a video with, blah, blah, blah. So when you have a clear and concise plan and schedule and you know what kind of video it's going to be, you have a higher chance of someone saying yes. Now, if you are punching outside of your weight class, which is like me with someone who has a channel, let's say above 150,000, right? Because I have a smaller channel. And when you have an experience or a benefit that could be really, really cool for that person to find intriguing, that can make up for the lack of audience that you may particularly have. What do I mean by this? So we have this talk at Vid Summit. It was a couple times ago now, but there was a channel and it's called like What's Inside. And so it's a father and son and they weren't yet at 1 million subscribers. I think they're way past that now. But at the time, they had gotten a collab request with someone who was at a local high school or something like that, and they were in charge of these mats for pole vaulting, and the school was getting rid of some of these mats, and they were going to be putting in new mats. So they were going to be disposing of them, so it wasn't going to be a big deal if maybe when you get the collab request for What's Inside. So they put in a specific kind of proposal, and the guy said, when we saw this, we didn't care. We didn't even look at how big a channel they had, and it was a very small channel. They were like, yeah, because the proposal was written as like, hey, I work at this local high school. Excuse me. We're getting rid of these pole vaulting mats. I know you're into track and field. Would you be interested in coming out here or us flying you out here? I don't remember the details. And, cutting it open down the center to figure out what's inside. And they were like, we couldn't book a plane ticket fast enough. We were like, absolutely, yes, we will. And they got a collab out of it with a much, much larger channel because it was an experience that was really intriguing to them that they would not have gotten otherwise on a subject matter that they were very interested in. So if you can entice someone with something that they're interested in, subject matter, or an experience that they would not be able to otherwise get, like, ooh, I work at the Seattle Kraken, the NHL thing, and I can get you access to the private Verizon lounge and, tour the locker rooms and blah, 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 blah. That's going to be more interesting to someone who has a channel about hockey and is interested in that and is touring all the different stadiums around, the United States and doesn't have access to this Climate Pledge arena. All of a sudden, it's like, this is seeming like a more exciting type of collab to me. Do you guys get where I'm going with this? Can you get what I'm laying down? If so, can I get a thumbs up in the chat, please? Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, if you can clearly explain the upside for the other person, like in a Cliff Notes version, in a very clear and concise manner, you will have a better time at actually getting them to say yes. Where do you do this? You're probably going to want to lay it out in an email for them. That means you're probably going to have to find their email and do the due diligence and not just send them a DM, but actually treat it more like a professional type of interaction. Okay, now, if you can pitch a win-win-win, you have a higher likelihood of someone saying yes. So that means if it's something like the what's inside, right? It's like, we're going to fly you out. You're going to get to cut open this stuff. We're going to give you the footage. And on top of that, we are going to edit the video and you don't have to do anything. I'm not asking you to do any public promotion of this, but I am going to put it on my YouTube channel and I'm going to tag you. That's a harder collab for them to say no to because they're like, I want to go out there. I want to cut open that pole vaulting mat. I want this experience and I have time in my schedule to do it. Yes, I'm going to do it. And they did. So it's a win-win, right? They get a cool experience. You get a cool video. They don't have to put in a lot of effort. So if you can phrase it in a way that highlights all of the winning, because everyone likes to stay winning, you have a higher likelihood of someone saying yes, okay? So another thing is, hello, Pixel Pia, great to see you. You have to think about what is the definition of success when it comes to a collab. Is it just getting the video out there? Is it trying to get to a certain amount of views? Is it trying to get a new amount of subscribers? And you don't have to necessarily share this with the other people, but you can if you want to and be like, this is the main goal that I'm trying to get. I'm not trying to get, like a certain amount of subscribers, but I really want to get blah, blah, blah. Sure. Why don't you share that with them if you want to? If you're close enough that you can share that, do it. But it also can help them to be like, what they're really trying to get is exposure or like a fundraiser type thing. So maybe if I mention something, and they might even be able to brainstorm with you different ways to help you get your goal. But it's harder if you don't have a destination in mind for them to sometimes even help you achieve whatever you haven't stated your goal is, right? So you need to decide. How are you going to introduce each other? Is it going to be a video insert? Is it going to be they send you stuff? Is it going to be you just talking about them and inserting like stills of their channel? How is that going to work? You really want to like work through that because what if you go through a 2-minute long introduction and you're talking about how great they are and in theirs, all they do is take a screenshot of your home channel of your YouTube page and say, link is in the description for my collaborator. Ouch. If you don't have the right expectations set with each other, you can also have one side really start to get resentful of the other, being like, I worked harder, I did all this stuff, I talked all this great smack about you. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden it's like, you see that video and like you're a little resentful and you're like, I work so much harder than you. And you probably should be working harder than the person you're collaborating with. However, you can save yourself some of that heartache if you share that first, okay? But find that connection point. If you can find it, exploit it, and explain it and make it make sense to your audience, it's really going to be beneficial. So why would this hunting channel be collaborating with a cooking channel? Maybe that common point is, right, farm to table or whatever it is, right? So you have to assume that the audience is not going to get the connection point. You're going to probably have to verbally or, physically show it and explain it. And so, sometimes you have to treat your audience as if they don't understand anything. And if you over explain it, it probably then starts to hit with some of them. So, okay. Next thing that we're going to say is you want to make it interesting and you want to make it fun. There's nothing worse than like a bored collaboration. You know what I mean? You've seen some of those where it's like, they're just not that excited to be there. Maybe it was contractual because like it's a movie junket and they have to, which is technically collaborations with all of these different publications, right? They are required to sit 5 minutes in each room and sit there with the same boring 5 questions. And how much they perk up at these, like different interviews when one person asks them something like about themselves or just quirky and fun, but not violative in any way, and kind of really walks them through something that's just like a fun experience. If you can be the fun experience for other people, it's a more memorable and hopefully a better collab, right? So if you want someone to say yes to you with a collaboration, it shouldn't feel like a chore for them. It should feel more like a fun privilege. Okay, it shouldn't feel like hard work. It shouldn't feel like a slog. They shouldn't be dreading doing it, and they shouldn't be wishing for it to be over, right? Just like, oh, how much longer do I have to do this? If you have that feeling, or if the collaborator has that feeling with you, I'm sure your video may not come off the screen as the most exciting if they just hate their lives being there, okay? Even if, like I said, they will collaborate with people even if they don't like them, just because they want something from them. And it's usually access to a specific audience. So keep that in mind. So other do's that we're going to talk about: get on the creator's radar. Like I said, you don't want to be like a stranger in Moscow to them. You want to, interact with them, go to some of their lives, retweet them, like some of their stuff, comment on some of their posts. Once you start to have interactions with people and you remember their avatars, you remember them, there's a general, hopefully warm feeling that comes over them every time they see your picture and avatar. Okay. You want to put deposits in the piggy bank of interaction and relationship before you go in asking for a big withdrawal and breaking the piggy bank with a hammer, okay, just to find it's empty, because you never put any deposits in. So take some time. Maybe don't go in for the kill after, leaving one comment. Maybe, wait that sucker out just a little bit and actually build a real relationship with them. Okay. Maybe find similar audiences or genres or cross groups of people that are going to be interested. Again, if you can, make a connection point or explain it and make it make sense. Okay, some people might be interested, but it is actually one of those where people like what they like and they like more of it, if that makes sense. So keep that in mind, okay? Just like we feel when we see you. Heart. Oh, wait, you can't even see my heart. Heart. Someone showed me the other day that they do a heart like this, and my mind was just like, you cannot. Because, what do you do with these little leggies in the back? It just looks like, I get it, but I don't know. Anyways, sorry, I got distracted again. Okay. And I said, if you are going to have dissimilar audiences, you really have to make that explanation in the connection point very, very clear. Otherwise, you're going to lose the majority of your audience and their audience if you don't make it very, very clear. Okay. Maybe send an email request versus a DM. There's so many times people get DMs that go into the wrong type of, especially again, coming back to Instagram or Facebook, they have these categories. So there's general and primary and requests and hidden. And I'm there's 4 different types of DMs and 4 different tabs that I have to go through. I interact with them, but not a lot. So they're not in a particular type of category for DM. No. So maybe an email, maybe, you find their website and you find their business email, because it is a business arrangement. So you should probably do that. On their YouTube channel page, usually on their about section, there's going to be a business email, hopefully, or there's an email in their description box. Take a second and actually try and find the right place to contact them. Maybe don't go on LinkedIn and then send a message that I'm messing with you. Okay. And then if you can provide value and exposure at an opportune time. What do I mean by that? What I mean is sometimes people do things in their public life, professional life, that they want to talk more about. And that's going to be things like writing a book, launching a course, something like this. So if Sean Cannell and Benji Travis were launching the new version of their YouTube book, if Daryl was doing version 2 of his YouTube book, if Roberto was doing version 2 of Create Something Awesome Today book, right? They would start working the circuit, which is go on all these podcasts, go on all these different live streams, go on just like when you go on, well, not us, but the regular folks. If you're a movie star like Natalie Portman, every time you do a movie, maybe you're on Letterman, maybe you're on Jimmy Fallon, maybe you're on the Conan O'Brien show, and you're doing the rounds. And most of the time, people aren't showing up to those places without having something to promote, right? Because their publicists and whatever else put them in those positions when something new is coming out, whether it's a new movie, a new song, a new soundtrack, a new, sporting event that just happened. That's when you work the circuit. So if you know that someone is, because you're following them on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, and like, oh my God, I can't believe it, my book is coming out in a month. That would be about the time where you're like, oh my gosh, your book is coming out in a month. I would love to do an interview with you to expose you to my audience, which is, a demographic of blank to blank that are all within the creator economy. And this could be the perfect audience of people who would be interested in getting your book. Would you like to come on and talk about it? They probably have a higher likelihood of saying yes than just randomly some other time. Okay. Again, what did we do there? We had a clear, concise way of the way that you were going to collaborate with them. You have a reason why, right? All of these different things. And it was sent in an email. Okay. So there's that. Now, when you are going to be collaborating with others, you want to schedule a time that is convenient for them. Okay. Especially if you have people that are in different time zones and whatnot. It's kind of rude to say like, hey, this is at 3:00 in the morning. Will that work for you? Because a lot of people are like, no. So if that means that you have to do it at 3:00 in the morning, because that's just where you're located, you should be doing whatever you can to make the other person's life less complicated, not more complicated, right? Again, easier to say yes. Easier to say yes. Absolutely. Yeah. If they do have a book, maybe you should read it. And you refer to certain chapters, Definitely. Also, it can give you some goodwill too with the artist or person. If you're like, oh my gosh, I got your book right here. You open it, it's highlighted on a certain page. This passage was really special to me or really resonated with me. If they know that you actually took the time to read something and you can relate to why it was important or impactful for you, that will show that you were not just lip servicing and that you're actually genuine in that. So that can also go a long way. That is definitely a good one. So you want to schedule a time that is convenient for them. Okay. If it's going to be inconvenient for anyone, it should be inconvenient for you. I'm always going to die on this hill, especially if you're asking something from them, which is their time or their expertise or their something else. If it's going to be inconvenient for anyone, it should always be inconvenient for you. Okay. Now you should follow them. You should mention them. You should promote them. You should be able to let them know, if they want, they can have some swipe copy if you want for copy and pasting. If you have graphics, you could share it with them. If you have something that you want to share with them, they have a higher likelihood of maybe doing it than if you provide nothing, right? Again, make it very easy for them. So if I'm going to be on someone's podcast, maybe they asked me for my headshot or my bio or something like that. But afterwards, maybe it's I'm going to put your stuff in the show notes. I'm going to link to your channel. If you have a special offer, I'm going to give it to my people. Maybe it's $20 off your course as a bonus for listening, whatever it is. Keep that in mind. Yep. Now, when it comes to collaborations, like I said, if it's going to be inconvenient for anyone, it should be for you. You should always be the one doing more lifting than they're lifting. Okay. You should show gratitude. You don't show attitude. Okay. We show gratitude. We don't show attitude with people that we're asking things and time for. Okay. And we give them the most reasons to say yes and eliminate reasons to say no. If it's, I don't have time to edit, I'm going to edit it. Right. I don't have the time to do that. I'm going to come to you. Okay. You don't have to get on a flight. You don't have to get into, whatever. If you're going to land here, I'm going to pick you up at the airport. You don't have to Uber. If it's going to be whatever else it is. Okay. If that is going to happen, you're asking of these things, you do the heavy lifting. If now you're starting to be ooh, this seems like a lot of work. Yeah. Collabs are a lot of work. I don't know what to tell you. is the juice worth the squeeze? You got to also define your success. Is it because you're just really wanting to have this conversation with them and you're a big fan? Is it because you're trying to gain access to their audience? Is it, some other reason? If it's just because like, oh, this is Neil deGrasse Tyson and I just want to have a conversation with this metaphysicist smart guy that seems pretty cool, or Neil deGrasse Tyson, whatever. And that's the end goal, right? You got to keep that in mind. Yeah, maybe you're going to have to fly to him. Maybe you're going to have to do it at 2:00 in the morning or whatever else would be a weird time for you because you want something from them. They don't necessarily need you. Maybe they do, maybe they don't, but most of the time, not so much. And then, right, when you're doing this, if it's not probably beneficial 51% to them and 49% to you or more, they might not do it. Okay? So all of this in mind, if they are maybe not reaping more of the reward or having way less effort to be involved, they just might not do it. And then also, you need to know your audience, okay? If your audience is going to, you're a hardcore vegan, maybe the last person you want to collaborate with is like a keto, I only eat raw meat type of dude. Unless it's to come on and have a debate and, you're going for the shock factor. If it's going to completely turn off your audience, if it's just someone who like you spent the last 5 years hating on and all of a sudden you score this interview with them and your audience also hates them, is it going to do more harm or good to your channel to bring this person on? Just because you got to have this cool conversation, is it going to alienate half of your audience, or are they all going to leave you because they're just so pissed off that you took this interview in the first place? Again, keep in mind your audience as well. So also, you need to work out the details, okay? Is this going to be an interview? Is this a challenge? Is this across channels? How do you make it simple and easy? You may have a form, a template, okay? Whose channel is it going to be on? What time is it going to go live? What time zones are we working with? What are we going to link to the other person? Is it just one YouTube video? Is it the channel? Are we doing these as end cards? Are we doing these as whatevers? Are we doing verbal intros? Do I need to send you an intro about me? How, you work out these details, right? So our video is going to go live at noon. You can't just say 12, you have to be like noon PST, and I am going to have a link to your description, and I'm going to put you in the eye, and whatever, and I'm going to list you as the end card. And not only that, but I'm going to send you the video unlisted so you can leave a comment on it, and then when it goes live, I'm going to pin that comment so it's there. You need to work out those details beforehand because it can also lead to this feeling of resentment. If, let's say, I did the end screen, I did the iCard, I did the video, I did the video intro, I sent all this information, and they weren't ready to go live. They didn't put my link in the description. They didn't do any of this. And all of a sudden you're just like so frustrated with this collab, right? And you don't want to be frustrated. You want to be happy, excited, and you want to share it. So keep that in mind. So when you can craft that irresistible offer to them, when you can be very clear and concise on what it is that they're going to get out of it, how you define success, and how you actually will execute the plan, you will have then this perfect collab proposal checklist that most of the time will work all of the time. You like what I did there? Most of the time, it works all of the time. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. And what questions, comments, concerns, horror stories does anybody have about collaborations? Have you had any that have gone really, really wrong? Have you had some that have gone so right? I'd love to hear it. Any kind that you've actually done. Oh, I forget you guys are on quite a bit of a delay. So this would be the time where you start using your tippity-tappity fingertips to say things, nice things, in relationship things, as I sip my tea. And I tell you guys, I've had a really busy day today. I was doing editing for one of my Content Minis clients. I had then my interview with Marcus over on his channel. I had some editing that I was doing for a friend, just like separately. And then I did this live stream. And then I have some more editing that I have to do for a different Content Minis client. So, I mean, it's really just been like go, 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 go all day today. I haven't even had lunch. My dogs have eaten lunch. I have not eaten lunch, but now it's dinner time. So, yeah. It says, I've only done one YouTube collab early in my YouTube career, and it was a very easy one. Oh, yeah? Hey, wait. I know you've done more than one collab because I've even come onto your channel and done an interview, which technically is a collab. 60% of the time, it works every time. Precisely. Marcus says, time zones are very important to consider. I had cases where it was not even the same day, so I had to make it extra clear in both times. Absolutely. Yes. I love this example. Cooking fish, eating raw meat. Yeah, right? Yeah. You know what's funny is I've done, I guess you could say, collabs with a lot of people here, right? With Marcus now as an interview, and Mr. Camera Junkie, and yeah, Pixelpia. Oh, yes, we should also say, remember last week where we were talking about when and if I hit 40K again? I did hit 40K again this last week, so since the last live stream, which, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Stop. Thank you. And that was like very exciting, but you know what's so funny about it is it's just not what you expect sometimes. Well, one, I feel no different, but two, a lot of people did not understand my reference joke when I said it feels like January 31st, 2022 all over again, because that was the last time that I hit 40,000. But also, the thing that did it, and I think I told you all this last week, was a dancing video. So apparently I just need to keep dancing. What? So, yeah, it was the Megan Trainor dancing video. And it is now my highest performing short. I think it is at 85,000 views, which just seems bananas to think about. No! Oh my gosh, you guys, it's at 96,591. That is banana sandwich. It's going to break 100,000. And so what's funny about that is, you know, I've been chasing, I needed like 300 subscribers. You know what this video has brought me? 271 subscribers because I was dancing. You guys, it just makes no sense. Like, why? Why? It just, whatever. But thank you. Let's see, Marcus says, I'm constantly improving my process to make it easier as possible for guests. Yeah, exactly. If you can make it easier for guests, right, you increase the likelihood of them saying yes if you reduce things that would make them say no, and you can increase things that would make them want to say yes, right? I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. Oh, I think we got a super chat. Ooh, exciting stuff. We need to do the super chat one. Okay, hold on. Let me get my buttons in order. 'Tis my life. Wait, buttons? Oh, look. The animation finally came up. Look at that. There we go. Where's my super chat? Me and iPad, me and web page, both. Where is it? Super chat. Thank you. If I remember, you owe us a coffee. Oh. Well, I did say that I would put it into the Discord channel. And yes. Wait, you're in Switzerland. Can you redeem the Starbucks gift card if I get you into that channel? I don't even know if you can redeem it. But you're right. I did say that I should put a $40 gift card into the moderator chat room for the Discord, and then y'all can get some coffee. I think you guys have almost spent the one from before. So I'm very proud of you guys that finally some people are, you know, doing that. So, woo! Good job for that. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to do that. You know what's so funny is I was trying to race because at the pace in which I was gaining subscribers, it was going to take me several months. And I have also been at 39,000 on TikTok for like more than a year. So I was like, it's a race. Which one's it going to be? YouTube or TikTok? YouTube or TikTok? One never knows. And then I was just like, oh, it's YouTube because of a TikTok video. Because I did actually record it in TikTok and then I downloaded it and then I put it over on YouTube. Ooh, insider secrets. I did that. And then I recorded another dancing video because, you know, what's so funny about that video is there's a trio. It's Megan Trainor and the two girls that are the choreographer. And then on my video, which is in the top part, there's only one of me. And I was so upset that I was like, why didn't I use the clone filter so that there's 3 and 3? Why? Why wouldn't you do that? So I recorded it again with the clone filter. And I'm like, when you really want to be part of a trio, so you just make your own. So I did that. But of course that video has like 1,000 views. And then the one that was never like really meant to like took off. Cause that one has like there's no makeup. It's just me in the backyard. You can see the pooper scoopers that still need to happen because the doggies have been in the backyard. Like, why? Why that one? Why ask why though? You got me over the 40K. So there's that. Mark said, we have Starbucks here, but I have no idea if it works internationally. I'll accept a virtual coffee instead. I'll keep that in mind. All right. I'm going to go have dinner. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you learned something about collaboration and you don't just go into someone's DM and be like, let's collab, or mine. Because I'll be like, you know better. Don't do that. But I wish you all the best week. Thank you so much for tuning in with me. I'm very, very excited for, I don't know, dinner/life. I don't know. Okay, guys. But thank you so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. And for the mods, yes, I will figure out the coffee thing. Okay? Because I'm a woman of my word. Speaking of coffee, oh my gosh, did you see my squirrel brain at work there? That reminds me, I have a coffee date tomorrow. That was literally my squirrel brain at work. Anyways, thank you all so much. I appreciate you. I'm going to try and get a message in here before because of the delay. When I do that and then try and type in, it doesn't let me. So be like, thank you for being here. Let me hit send on it so I see it. All right. I'll see y'all next week. Bye, y'all.